Hi everyone, and welcome back to Conquering Math, where it all adds up. In our lives, we use positive and negative numbers to represent different things. For example, temperatures above and below zero, elevations above and below sea level, and plenty of other applications. And so today we're going to take a look at how to find the difference when negative numbers are involved. This video does assume that you know how to add negative numbers, so if you haven't taken a look at that yet, why don't you go back and watch that video first. Alright, let's get started. Today's learning target is I can subtract negative numbers by adding the opposite number. So subtracting rational numbers can actually be summed up pretty easily. When you are subtracting using rational numbers, you're just going to add the opposite number. And so there's really only two steps here. Step 1, change the sign of the number and change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. For example, if you have a positive number, turn that into a negative number, and then add. If you started by subtracting a negative number, you'll turn it into a positive number, and then add. And then step 2, follow the rules for adding rational numbers. And that's it. So let's take a look at example number 1. We need to find the difference of negative 5 minus 9. So the first thing we have to do is change 9 to negative 9, and change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. So instead of negative 5 minus 9, now we have negative 5 plus negative 9. Now we need to follow the rules for adding rational numbers, and we know that negative 5 plus negative 9 equals negative 14. Alright, let's look at a different situation. This time we have 8 minus negative 4, and again we need to find the difference. So what we'll do is we will change negative 4 to positive 4, and we'll change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. So now instead of 8 minus negative 4, we have 8 plus 4. And then we know that 8 plus 4 is 12. Now let's mix it up a little bit by throwing some fractions in there. This time we have negative 5 and 4/5 minus negative 3 and 2/5. So once again, we need to change negative 3 and 2/5 to positive 3 and 2/5, and then change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. So now we have negative 5 and 4/5 plus 3 and 2/5. Once again, at this point, all we have to do is follow the rules for adding rational numbers, and this time we've thrown some fractions into the mix. And so we have negative 5 and 4/5 plus 3 and 2/5 equals negative 2 and 2/5. Let's take a look at a real-world example that uses this skill. Last winter, Colby recorded the daily temperatures for a week. The temperatures are listed in the table to the right. What was the difference in temperatures between the warmest day and the coldest day? So the first thing that we need to do is write an expression, so we need to know the warmest and coldest days. In this case, Saturday had the warmest temperature at 9 degrees Celsius, and Tuesday had the coldest temperature at negative 4 degrees Celsius. Since we need to find the difference, we should subtract. So we have 9 minus negative 4. Now remember, the next step is to change the negative 4 into positive 4 and change the subtraction sign to addition. So instead of 9 minus negative 4, now we have 9 plus 4, and we know that 9 plus 4 is 13. So this means the difference between the warmest and the coldest days that Colby measured was 13 degrees Celsius. Let's review what we learned today. You learned to subtract negative numbers by adding the opposite number. Remember, there are only two steps that you need to worry about here. Step 1, change the sign of the number and change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. Step 2, follow the rules that you already know for adding rational numbers. So what should you do now? You should go ahead and complete the independent practice problems and then watch the solutions video to check your work. If you don't have the guided notes packet, don't worry about it. Just watch the video, and you can pause it at the beginning of each problem, solve it on your own, and then unpause the video to check your solution. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Conquering Math, and I'll see you next time.